Good afternoon then, and welcome to Tattersfield at Doncaster for this third division Stones Bitter Championship. The weather is absolutely glorious, a total contrast to when we were here last year when the weather was atrocious, and the crowd all gathered below us this afternoon due to the fire in the stand at the far side, completely devoid of spectators. Well, not completely, there are one or two over there, directors and what have you, but all the Keighley supporters gathered underneath us here this afternoon, Darryl. Nice weather above, but the pitch is looking very heavy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit heavy in the middle, John. I think it'll cut up a little bit, but majority of the ground's good. Top of the surface job, they should be able to run it well. Hopefully we'll have a good open game today, some good football played. Like you say, the conditions reasonable underfoot, the weather's beautiful, sun's shining, should certainly wake them up today.
And the teams then for this afternoon, the Keighley lineup is as follows: John Walker's at full-back, John Vassalou, Carlton Farrell, Mark Milner and Wayne Race are the three quarters. Keith Dixon and Andy Ayres make the half-back pairing. Greg Keighley and Paul Moses. Steve Hall, a replacement for the injured Joe Grimmer, moving up from substitute. Mark Brook-Cowden, Ian Gately and Martin Wood complete the forward lineup. And the two substitutes, Charlie McAllister and Phil Stevenson. For Doncaster, it's Andy Rothwell at full-back, Mark Sims, Mark Reeves, Justin Hudson and Simon Davison are the three quarters. Mark Sims returning from a loan period with Wakefield. Alex Green, the ex-Bradford Northern and former Dudley Hill player, in the stand-off shirt with Greg Shuttleworth at scrum half. Andy Clark, John Evans, Ian Fletcher, Tony Miller, Alan Carr and Brad Hayes are the forwards. The substitutes for Doncaster, Audley Pennant and Andy Booker. The referee this afternoon is Mr Paul Crashley from Wakefield, Mr Copestake and Mr Nathan. In fact, the touch judges. The toss-up has just taken place. In fact, the wind, I believe, although we're sheltered from it up here, is blowing from left to right as we look at it. And Keighley have in fact lost the toss. Doncaster chosen in the first instance to play against the wind. And it's Keith Dixon then who's going to get this afternoon's encounter underway. A large crowd has gathered here at Tattersfield for what should be the last, or what probably will be the last game ever to be played here. The spectators doing a quick change round the back of the stand at the far side. Mr Crashley gets us away, spot on the dot at 3, and the ball being allowed to go into touch on that 10-metre line. On the 10-metre line then, as the scrum forms, it will be scrum half Andy Ayres for Keighley defending this scrum, and it'll be Greg Shuttleworth to put the ball in. We expect to see it come out the back of the Doncaster loose forwards' feet. Shuttleworth gets the ball away there to the mid. Looks as though it's a full-back there, Andy Rothwell joining in early doors. On the 20-metre line then, as Doncaster look to get this ball up towards the halfway. The Keighley defence having different ideas there as Ian Fletcher gets up and plays the ball out to the short side. That's hooker John Evans making a good break towards the halfway line. Certainly bringing the applause from his own spectators underneath us here in this stand as Shuttleworth looked to kick. Had to readjust himself there as the ball going across. Bounces kindly though for Johnny Walker. Half gets through the first tackle and offloads to Milner. Milner's going down the far side, but the wingman wasn't up in support. John Vassalou still taking part in the defensive situation. But there's a penalty there, an early penalty for Keighley for holding down in the tackle. And Mark Milner almost through there, and John not really getting back from the defence position there to support him in attack, Darryl.
No, John, I think the pass beat him really. They weren't expecting Mark to get the ball. When he got it, Mark shut off. Caught John unawares a little bit. So they can do something from this penalty now. Ian
Gately then taking the ball into the Dons 20-metre area. Moses acting half back onto Ayres, bringing on Keighley taken down right in the centre of the field in front of those Doncaster posts as Andy Ayres onto Steve Hall. Steve Hall looks to get through but unable to break through the tackles. He's held on the 10-metre line now for Keighley. Moses switches play back inside to Ayres. A run around with Dixon, brings on Walker, but Walker looks like a forward pass to Carlton Farrell, and it's a flop over try there to Ian Keighley. That's as early as 2 minutes into this game, but it certainly looked like a forward pass to me there to Carlton Farrell, Darrell.
Yeah, just a little bit forward, John, but you played a whistle.
Well, you do indeed, and I think we may well have been complaining a little bit had we had that decision not given. Mr. Crashley, though, certainly favouring Keighley on that occasion and allowing that very suspect pass to go unmarked. And so John Vasilou then, he's got the opportunity to add in the extra 2 points to this try, and he's approaching all sorts of records in his career and in the club's career. He's broken many this season already, and I feel sure with the 4 games, including this one, the 4 guaranteed games left that he has, he could well go on to break 1 or 2 more. 4 or 5 required in tries to break the try scoring record. Already, of course, having broken the goals in a season. Carefully measured, but not through the post, unfortunately. So the scoreline remains at 4 points to 0. We've had about 3 minutes on the clock. Mr. Crashley back on the halfway line, ready to restart. It'll be the left boot of Alex Green, just giving the ball to the referee, saying there's something wrong with that one. New ball then, back on the field. The left boot then of Green into the hands of Stevie Hall. Stevie Hall almost bursting through that first tackle, but offloads to Paul Moses. Paul Moses really, I think, settling himself to take the play of the ball there. Not at all happy with the offload from Steve. Ball out then to Doncaster. Full back there, Rothwell tackled, attempting to get away and escape, but Shuttleworth gets the ball out now to Miller. Miller coming towards the touchline side, but well tackled there by Dixon and Wood. And Keighley caught offside right in front of the post. It's Mark Milner, the man adjudged to be offside. Now then, what's Doncaster do? I would suspect they'll be calling Mark Sims in, Darrell. Or it looks like Alex Green's going in. He's the goal kicker, but Mark Sims is the man who Wakefield had on loan purely for goal kicking.
Yeah, they're going to have a goal anyway, John. Looks like a good 2 points here for him.
Well, certainly Alex Green is no mean goal kicker, and has been given the responsibility here by coach Tony Fisher this afternoon. Looking then to reduce that earlier setback. He succeeds, and possibly see there the way in which the wind took that ball. So it looks in fact as though the wind is coming from the corner of the field, the left hand corner, and blowing across to the far right hand corner, diagonally and behind Keighley. 4 points to 2 then, Keighley lead. Deep kick there by Dixon underneath the foot of the Doncaster player there. Paul Moses already up to that 10-metre line to do the tackling, hoping to hold Doncaster down in this portion of the field, but that's a good drive forward. And already a few early exchanges there between Steve Hall and that man who did the running in. Looks as though it might have been Ian Fletcher. But this is Doncaster now looking towards the halfway line. In fact, it wasn't, it was Brad Hayes, the number 13, who was just a bit upset with Stevie Hall, as Hall half tackles hooker Evans there. Last tackle though, says Mr Crashley, as the ball's some almost 10 metres inside the Keighley half. Shuttleworth does the chip over the top, and it just bounces into touch on the Keighley 20-metre line.
Five vehicles please to move. J73 FJX.
Scrum forms then on the Keighley 20-metre area as Andy Hayes comes round the back of the scrum, but well tackled and contained there in that initial burst. Martin Wood now looking to a way through, taken 3 Doncaster players there to bring him down, Shuttleworth being one of them and Alex Green another. Moses just holding that ball off. Greg Hiley, well tackled there by the second row, but it's back to the left boot of Dixon, well down the field. You remember Keith Dixon, he was the hero here last time when he kicked that last minute penalty to give Keighley the victory. Different season this time though. That tackle of Andy Ayres, certainly the arm up in the top area, but quite happy Mr Crashley to allow it to go. Doncaster then just outside their own 20-metre area as they try to break forward, looking for ways through this Keighley defence. Justin Hudson tackle in possession there as he gets the ball out once more to Shuttleworth. Shuttleworth switches the ball back inside. Last tackle indicated by the referee as the ball comes out to Green. Green puts the left boot to the ball. Andy Ayres certainly not chasing that ball. He was leaving it very much to Wayne Race. That ball was in no man's land, Darrell, and Andy certainly should have made sure it was safe, shouldn't he?
Yeah, they got caught without a bobby there. Well and truly caught. If Wayne hadn't taken that, it could have been dodgy.
Keith Dixon then gets the ball out to Carlton Farrell. Farrell switches inside to Wayne Race. Wayne Race almost gets 10 metres inside, but there's a knock on there. Keith Dixon appealing to the touch judge to say the ball was stripped out, but the touch judge not helping the referee, and certainly difficult to see. Doubtful whether he could have seen it. I suspect the ball was possibly dropped in the tackle. So it's Shuttleworth then to feed this scrum some 5 metres inside his own half of the field. Fed behind the hooker's feet there, misses out Green and gets the ball onto fullback Rothwell. Only half tackled, allowed to get up and have another go. Shuttleworth gets the ball and lost by Tony Miller in the tackle there, picked up by Milner. Milner stepping away from the first tackle, almost gets away from the second, but secures the ball some 15 metres inside the Doncaster half. Moses just steps aside there to go on his own, and Steve Hall though unable to make any headway forward. Moses again onto Hiley this time. Hiley bounces off the first tackle on the Doncaster 20-metre line. Moses through the hands of Ayres onto Dixon and via Martin Wood, but Martin Wood steps back inside before giving it to Gately. The switch back outside to Dixon, back inside to Ayres. Ayres steps onto Moses, but it's a forward pass this time. Mr Crashley definitely on station to see that one. In fact, Darrell, I think that didn't look anywhere near as forward as the last one. Nonetheless, it was.
That's Mr Crashley.
You're a gem with these one-liners, Darrell. You're supposed to give me a break from time to time, but never mind. Shuttleworth then with the ball into the scrum and out. And it's on that Doncaster 20-metre line then as the ball comes out to the short side, but well met there by Mark Brook-Cowden, standing over the player, just getting up away from number 12 Alan Carr. Looks as though he's suffered an injury in that encounter as Shuttleworth sweeps up there. Referee Mr Crashley just telling the Keighley defence to get back on side. Andy Clark there, 10 metres from the halfway line, but it's still the last tackle as Shuttleworth again pumps the ball over the far side, but it's gone back. John Basilou regathers at the second attempt, comes through the centre of the defence, but ducks his head just in time to avoid the tackles and protect himself. This is Andy Ayres now for Keighley, giving the dummy to Mark Milner, but eventually being tackled some 5 metres inside the Dons' half of the field. Johnny Walker through onto Moses, onto Hiley via Moses. Andy Ayres, a forward pass, a mile there, again not missed, no Daryl, you said not, but it's the last tackle. We'll just see what happens here first. As the ball switched back to Dixon, out to Martin Wood, it's the last one, remember. Wood's going to be caught in possession here, is he? Indeed he is. Daryl, you said no, it wasn't forward.
No, I didn't look at John, it was a good pass really. Andy was running onto it, he met it at full pelt. Good pass, I thought.
Well, certainly, obviously, the speed of the man moving deceived the eye there. At least it deceived mine. And so then we're some 30 metres away from the Doncaster line as they get up and play that ball, and Keighley, in fact, the referee adjudging there a knock on. It must have been a little one, Darrell. You haven't looked at me and I didn't see it, did you?
No, I was busy watching how Doncaster were lining up, John. I didn't seem to know who were going to come there at the beginning.
Well, they didn't, that's for sure, but that ball was out and offside at the scrum. The Doncaster park adjudged to have, in fact the defensive line adjudged to have been inside that 5 metre area. So then the tap restart as Ian Gately gets inside the 20 metre area for Keighley. Just to the left hand side of the post, and that the crowd baying for offside there. Oh, sorry, forward pass to Gately, but certainly Moses had moved in front of him after the ball had been played, but that's out to Martin Wood. Not a good pass, and in fact Martin snatched at it as well. So we've now got some 15 minutes into this first half, Darrell, and we're just a little bit of nerves, I think, shown by Keighley. They know that they've got to get the 2 points this afternoon. Doncaster not too bothered because they're settling for 8th position. Keighley certainly need the 2 this afternoon, and showing a bit of nerves, I think. Yeah,
I think you're right there, John. I feel like they should have had at least one more try, possibly 2 more by now. They're not only attacking really, but like you say, a bit of nerves is letting them down. I think they want to settle themselves down again. Like we said in the past, we keep saying it, settle down, play to the game plan, play football, it'll come good.
I'm sure you're right, as we've seen in previous weeks, but at the moment it's Doncaster looking to burst out of their own half of the field. They're still encamped inside that 30 metre area at the moment as they take play up that far wing side. Mark Milner though doing the tackling, and once more Mr Crashley got the arm in the air.
Last tackle there, referee called it, and John had never moved at all. In fact, if anything, he was offside in front of the rest of the players. They've been better dropping back, ready for this kick. I think they're better off taking them rather than letting them go into touch. That way they know they've got possession. They don't have to chance it in the scrum. There's always a chance they could lose it out of the scrum.
Nonetheless, on this occasion, they have got the ball. It's John Walker tackled just inside 10 from the halfway line. As Keith Dixon switches out to Andy Ayres, the ball going out to Martin Wood on that far touchline side, but the referee calls the forward pass, and I think, you know, if, in all honesty there, perhaps the action of the arms he judged that one on Darrell, because it didn't actually look forward.
Didn't for me, Jim. Like you said, his arms, Paul turned round and passed the ball backwards to look forwards, if you know what I mean. He turned himself right round, so it does look a bit bad.
Out then to Alex Green on the Doncaster half, in the Doncaster half of the field. Tackle though on the halfway line, 4 points to 2, remember, still the score as Keighley just that 2 points in front from the early try by Ian Gately, countered by the penalty goal from Alex Green. And this is number 4, Justin Hudson, gets a nice ball out there to the second row, Tony Miller, but he's racked up some 15 metres inside the Keighley half of the field. Doncaster now coming forward, Andy Clark, the number 8 prop forward, tackled in possession. Shuttleworth with the run round with Green, but that ball could well go out on the full, but no, it's taken by John Basilou, but taken into touch as well. Scrum down then some 30 metres out from the Keighley line. Shuttleworth feeds the scrum, brings on the wingman, it looks like, over the far side. Mark Sims gets the ball out now. Doncaster looking dangerous. They've got the numbers here, but good tackling there by Keighley. Prevented that move coming any further as Green gets the ball to the blind side prop. Fletcher right in front of the Keighley post, 10 metres out. Doncaster looking for these points now. Shuttleworth runs round again. Nice ball out. There's a big gap there, and Doncaster in. There was an enormous gap in that Keighley defence at the far side there, Darryl.
Yeah, he could have got 2 buses through that gap there, John. You look where he'd scored there. There was man outside him and only one Keighley man outside from the touch judge. And that'll be 15 metres to corner flag there. The only John Vassallo out there. They got us for numbers there.
Yes, certainly the sliding defence didn't work on that occasion. It was full-back Andy Rothwell who went in and scored, and we wait now for the conversion attempt. So Alex Green looking to convert that one. He does. So that's put Doncaster in front now then, as Alex Green successfully converts that Andy Rothwell try. 8 points to 4, Doncaster lead. We've got almost 20 minutes on the clock, and Keighley really going to have to shake the feathers just a little bit now to get back in, settle those early match nerves, and build on some confidence from some steady work and keeping the ball inside this Doncaster territory and gaining advantage points wise as well. Doncaster only effectively been into the Keighley half twice really in this first 20 minutes, and from those 2 visits they've got something like 8 points. One thing is for sure, the Doncaster side will be well fired up this afternoon, regardless of the position in the league, and that's a good break again. Nice switch inside there to the hook at Evans, but a good tackle, half stop there by the full-back John Walker. But Doncaster switching play now. Shuttleworth working with Alex Green. Alex Green picking that ball up by his boot laces, and Doncaster again have the numbers at the far side, but opted not to take the options, and it's Shuttleworth again getting the ball out, and dives in again. Well, that's very poor defence by Keighley. It looks as though it's Alan Carr, I believe, the number 12, who scored. Appalling defence by Keighley. I don't think there's anything more can be said for it, Darryl.
Not really, John. They just haven't woken up. They thought they had the game won. They should have had early tries. They didn't get them. Doncaster have attacked 3 times. 3 times have scored.
And how much possession Keighley have had in the Doncaster half of the field, only to see just a single try in the opening minutes from Ian Gately, and 2 tries in the space of 2 minutes there, will certainly test the character of this Keighley side now. Alex Green looking to add the extras, and remember he's kicking into the wind in the second half. In the second half, after successfully converting that, hanging in the air the ball, I think we can see this left boot of Green really punishing Keighley downfield, and they're really going to have to build now and sort themselves out and get some points on the board. It's strength of character, fitness, and the willingness and the wanting to win today that's really going to pull Keighley through, I think, now. No point in writing them off, because that's absolute nonsense, but 14-4 is the scoreline. And possession-wise, for the last 10 minutes, they've had very little, in fact. But Doncaster certainly capitalised on the possession they've had, and certainly looking more confident with every stride forward. Ian Fletcher there looking to offload. In fact, he does offload. I think the Keighley players expecting the referee to call held, but Doncaster now coming forward in rampant fashion, moving a lot quicker than Keighley. Again looking to offload in the tackle, but Wisdom not allowing him to. He raises the thumb to the referee, says thank you very much, and he's pointing to Alex Green to have a pot at goal, would you believe? Surely not, the ball must go into touch. Shuttleworth puts it into touch, only just. But no, it's Doncaster now then, with Alex Green restarting, brings on Ian Fletcher. Justine Hudson taking place some 25 metres or so from the Keighley line, gets up quickly and plays the ball up through Shuttleworth to Green. These two half-backs for Doncaster really causing problems for Keighley, with a little run rounds and the switches of play. Green again gets the ball out there to Tony Miller, but the ball in fact being taken, an interception there by Andy Ayres and Keith Dixon, I beg your pardon, and Doncaster there caught offside some 12 metres or so inside their own half. Now the time though, Darrell, Keighley have got to settle themselves down really. We're 25 minutes into the game, they've got to settle and they've got to score, haven't they now? Yeah,
Keighley's got to get the next points now. I think they know that, the players know that. They've got to start settling down, taking them on, running at the defence a little bit more.
There's a penalty there for dropping with the elbows, I think, in the tackle on Ian Gately, according to the signals given by Mr Crashley. And Dixon just going to put this ball left-footed into touch. Certainly putting it square into touch, giving himself, his team, plenty of width in which to work. Gately switches to Ayres, but Ayres juggles, but misses that first man coming through on the tackle. Number 12 it was, Alan Carr. Just inside the 20 metre, in fact it was Dixon, wasn't it? Beg your pardon, Keith Dixon, not Andy Ayres. 15 metres from that Doncaster line, right in front of the post as Moses onto Ayres. That's Steve Hall now looking to burst through and turning in defence to offload as Moses against. Long ball out to Martin Wood. Martin Wood half looking for the gap, half trying to dummy his way through, but the Doncaster defence not buying it. And it's Gately now, a long ball. Well, it was going to be a long ball out, but it's Mark Milner in the way, and that ball touched by thought perhaps it might have been touched by a Doncaster player. It's a long way from us here. Mr Crashley having different ideas, saying it was a knock-on. Well, certainly the opinion up here is that Doncaster knocked it down, Darrell.
Yeah, I think they did, John, but Keighley, they gathered, then must have knocked on after that.
But surely that's two knock-ons, first knock-on counts. However, we can't all be referees, there's only one in the game. And play then 15 metres out from the Doncaster line. Doncaster coming forward once more. Knock on though there by Greg Shuttleworth. He's telling the referee the ball went back, but Mr Crashley not too impressed either on that occasion. Mark Milner coming, not sure what the problem is. He's certainly found something on the field. Andy Ayres then waiting for this scrum to form. The Doncaster players not in the scrum at all. Mark Milner, well, Andy Ayres really taking the options on the play away from the pack there. Only Mark Milner, the man, coming. He had a long way to go to get to him, but Steve Hall now bringing play back inside. 5 metres from the Doncaster line, or 10 metres now as he's pushed back slightly. Moses onto Ayres. Ayres goes through. Oh, and Greg Harley not able to take that one. A knock on again, and I feel sure that ball, Darrell, was intended for Greg Harley, but had he left it, it would have certainly gone on to the supporting player.
Yeah, Keith Dixon would have scored there if Greg hadn't taken it, but I think if Greg had taken it cleanly, he could have easily scored as well.
So then Keighley knocking on, and that's 3 tries they've denied themselves, and I have to say denied themselves in this first half. As Shuttleworth gets the ball out over the far side there. Breakthrough by Ian Fletcher for Doncaster, almost getting to the 30 metre line before being tackled. Green at acting half-back. John Evans, the hooker, he wins a penalty for the arm of Martin Wood going round the head area. And it's Shuttleworth putting the ball safely over that stand at the far side. 14 points to 4, the scoreline reads in Doncaster's favour. Big hits there from Ian Gately and Greg Hiley on the Doncaster player. Certainly felt that tackle. 5 metres inside the Keighley half of the field then as the ball moves across, switches back inside to Shuttleworth, but coming outside again to Alan Calf. Shuttleworth once more taking the inside play, but straight into the waiting arms there of Paul Moses and Stevie Hall. And again it's Alex Green this time running across, pick the gap. Oh, nice ball out there from Green, but the ball going out on the touch, missing the wingman. But it was a beautiful ball there by Alex Green. Again split Keighley apart, didn't he?
Yeah, he saw the gap, shot through it, put a lovely ball out there. Doncaster should have scored there.
And in fact Doncaster looking to make a substitution. It's number 3 Mark Reeves leaving the field following the tackle by Ian Gately and Greg Hiley. Number 14 Audley Pennant, the man to take his place. Almost centre swap for centre swap as Ayres comes on his own from the back of the scrum there, but well met round the back. And this is Mark Brook Cowden. Mark Brook Cowden driving upfield. Keighley certainly not used to being in a position of trailing. Paul Moses just trying it on his own from acting half back, 10 metres inside his own half as Gately then. Still inside his own half of the field as Paul Moses again onto Keith Dixon. That ball hit the Doncaster player as it went through. All on, said the referee. That's why there's no penalty given there, but this is Pennant allowed to go on his own from acting half back. Doncaster certainly catching Keighley down the acting half back occasionally. 5 metres inside the Doncaster half of the field as Pennant at acting half gets the ball away. Tony Miller though has to fall to the tackle, still inside his own half, and this is Shuttleworth switching the ball back inside. Last tackle on the halfway line, looking for the kick coming through here from Alex Green. The left boot goes. Wayne Race and John Walker there between them. Justin Hudson does the initial tackle. In fact, Simon Davison does the finishing off. But this is Wayne Race for Keighley, looking to work his way upfield. And it's Dixon through the hands to Steve Hall. He's tackled and loses the ball. Losing the ball inside your own half of the field when you're coming forward, not the best of things. Difficult to put together, Darrell, why the Keighley play just not on, unless it's sheer persistence and pressure on the defence by the Doncaster players.
Could be John. Doncaster should score here. The winger's going all the way, and it's a good try. Excellent try.
And a good try from the base of the scrum on the blind side by the winger Mark Sims. And that's really stitching Keighley now.
Right, so he can't take that then, John. Ball cut in and out, whip down the blind. John Basilou come in to take the scrum half. He fed the winger straight down. Excellent try.
Certainly was, and that's certainly got a few Keighley heads thinking the coaches have got a heck of a task at half time now. It's 18-4. Keighley coaching staff, as I was saying, have got a tremendous task at half time now to lift them, and certainly so have their fans on the touchline side and in the stands here. This is a time of the season where Keighley really can't afford to slip. They've still got the cushion of the 2 games advantage in hand, but a let off there as Alex Green hardly getting that ball off floor level. But 18 points to 4, there's a lot of hard work to do now.
Yeah, they've done it once already, John, against Dewsbury at home. they were 18-6 down, you know, and they came back and they won. They've got to put themselves together now. They've got to start thinking about what they're doing, concentrating a little bit more. I think they were a bit ship-shot to begin with. Really concentrate now and get the game together.
And in fact, it's Keighley waiting to make a substitution. Number 10, Steve Hall, leaving the game, as is Keith Dixon. Double substitution, Charlie McAllister and Phil Stevenson coming on to take the place. Certainly don't understand that. There must be a reason. There's about 7 minutes to go to half-time. But one thing I have noticed is the quietness of the Keighley support. The Doncaster fans certainly getting behind their players, and Keighley not getting behind them. They've certainly got the numbers on the terraces of Keighley, but certainly don't seem to be getting behind them too much, and this is the time when they really need them behind them. Alan Carr driving in then, 10 metres inside his own half of the field. Shuttleworth puts that boot down, and again a good kick there by Shuttleworth to the far side of the field. Not certain whether John Basilow's having trouble with that hamstring. He's apparently been suffering with it all week, but ambling back there as though next week would do, Daryl.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, John, he didn't seem to be coming back quick enough. To me, I think we've got to attack the ball and keep it in play. We can't afford to keep letting it go out. I mean, we could lose this scrum.
As you said before, but on that occasion again, we did win it, as Keighley won it. Martin Wood looking back, but got nowhere progressively. And this is Stevenson, the substitute. He's on for Steve Hall, Phil Stevenson, and it's Ian Gately. Certainly there's a lot of spirit in this Doncaster side. They've been tackling their hearts out. Keighley, when they've had the ball, have had no opportunities really to make headway. But having said that, the possession they've had must be about 40-60 in Doncaster's favour. Keighley have been very, very short on possession in this half. Ball out there, a long ball out to Milner, looking to pick the speedy centre up as McAllister takes the ball over to the touchline side. He's flopped. In fact, manages to offload. This is John Basilow, caught round the thigh there in the tackle. A good tackle. And Martin Wood left to put the ball downfield, pumping it down into the full-back, but he takes it like he's been taking them all day. Well tackled though there by Paul Mosley, some 15 metres inside the Doncaster half, and that's another break away from a half tackle by Doncaster. We've got about 4 minutes or so on the clock in this first half, and we've got 18 points to 4 as Keighley trail. A position we've not used to being looking at this season. And good tackling back there by the Keighley defence, ensuring that ball was stuck where it went. That ball charged down, hit the player as Mr. Crashley counted back. We haven't seen yet. I don't think he possibly did, because Doncaster put the ball up again. It's going to count back this time though. Definitely count back that time, as Alan Carr gets within 5 metres of the halfway line. And it's Hudson now for Doncaster going forward. The slimly built centre rather being upended there by Gately on the centre line. And a Doncaster player there certainly feeling the weight of that tackle. Moving on their own from acting half-back. Some 10 or 12 metres inside the Keighley half now. Keighley are going to have to settle, I feel, for this scoreline at half-time. As a forward pass, in fact, indicated by Mr. Crashley from Green out to the winger Davison. Darrell.
Yeah, he didn't look forward here, John, but he knocked on, so he gave it. Keighley, like you say, they've got to settle now. They can't afford to lose any more points before half-time. They could do with scoring before half-time, really could. They've got to start doing things a little bit different. Not stupid though, don't have to be stupid.
Johnny Walker then looking for a hole. He found the hole, He's got support with him, but he's unable to offload, but that's a good break into the opposition half of the field. And it's a penalty there to Keighley for laying on. Martin Wood puts that ball into touch on the far touchline side. Ball into Paul Moses. He's going to take it onto Keighley. Keighley runs round with Moses. Moses running across the face of play. Felt he might have been looking for a pick-up man there, but there was nobody available as Ayres now brings on Carlton Farrell. On again, an unnecessary pass from Carlton Farrell. And I just can't understand this, Keighley. It's total panic as far as Keighley seem to be. As soon as they hit the Doncaster 20 area, it's almost as though it's panic stations. 3 tries they've denied themselves through knock-ons in very scoreable positions, and allowing players to get away from tackles like that certainly doesn't help the situation either. Fortunately managing to hang on to him as Ian Fletcher gets away but spills the ball. Mark Brook-Cowden regathers, and certainly it's Keighley looking as though they're in 8th position in the table, and Doncaster looking as though they're the leaders. Offside there, and again a penalty, all time consuming as far as Keighley are concerned, as Ian Gately drives the ball in into the 20 metre area, tackled some 12 metres in from touch as Moses now spreads the ball in field, cross to Martin Wood, nice ball out there on the and John Basilou puts the ball down this time. Not John Basilou's fault, I must admit, but not the best of passes to Mark Milner either. But absolutely nothing going at all for Keighley this afternoon. Again, inside the 20 metre area, it's almost panic stations. A knock on there by Doncaster, giving Keighley a scrum here, but the 40 minutes are up on the clock. We've had 1 or 2 very short stoppages in this half for substitutions and an odd sponge, but nothing really worth talking about as the ball comes out now to Keighley. Martin Wood goes through the gap, feeds onto Carlton Farrell. Farrell taken round the top, still going, but the Doncaster defence is gathering in the centre there. Keighley overloading this side, but they're going to go Martin Wood on his own. Thought perhaps they might have offloaded to the left. Doncaster very short left hand side. If he can ever get up and play the ball, moving it quickly out there to Greg Keighley, but Keighley's tackled. It was a poor pass, certainly still well open at the far side as the ball switched out there to Milner. Milner's in for a try, gets the ball down. Well, at long last goal, they didn't panic inside the 20, but my, how long that gap was waiting over there to be exploited.
Well, at least 3 tackles there, John. Yeah, they took an age to get the ball out there. When they did, Mark saw the gap, went through it. Good try in the end.
Certainly we're calling for it. Doncaster. Swell changing the church there, saying Doncaster. I think Keighley could consider themselves lucky there that Doncaster weren't aware of the fact that they were so short on cover at the far side and allowed the gaps to exist for so long. As it was Mark Milner, he got the 4. We're now looking at John Basilou. Yes, gets the extra 2. That puts Keighley into double figures. Certainly makes the half-time score a little bit more respectable, and it will be something for them to build on in the dressing room at half-time as the hooter goes, Darryl.
Yeah, John, now at least they're going in on a good point. They've had a lot of bad points this half, but they've got some good points to build upon now, like you say there. 6 points there, puts them back in the game at 18-10.
18 points to 10, then the half-time score. 2 tries to Keighley, Ian Gately and Mark Milner, 1 converted by John Basilou. So then the half-time scoreline as the break finishes, still 18 points to 10. And Darryl, I think the question we've got to ask ourselves is, can we possibly see a consistent continuation of the efforts of Doncaster in this second half?
I think they'll struggle, John. They've really put themselves about in this game. Depends on the fitness level, how fit they really are. I mean, they really have put themselves around in this game now, so it's up to Keighley to make them have to work really hard, work for every little thing, and hopefully Keighley get the next break.
I think the first 10 minutes certainly going to be the telling factor as far as both sides are concerned. The Doncaster side going to be fired up, as I would imagine the Keighley side are as well. There'll be one or two ears roasting, I feel, in the dressing rooms about the panic that's been going on in the attack. And I think we should see certainly Keighley coming back with a great more resolve in this opening spell in the second half. The try before half-time obviously going to have done them some good. As Milner now goes through the gap, Milner needs to step inside. Ball inside and again, no, not a forward pass, there's the referee, it's all on. The last tackle low is Phil Stevenson, got to get that ball out there, it's Martin Wood. Martin Wood's in! Martin Wood's in for that try early in the... Well, within 6 tackles, 1 minute, it was the last tackle, the ball's gone. Martin Wood took the ball from the kick-off with his foot. It came across field, a good break downfield by Mark Milner, Darrell. Inside, through the hands of Stevenson, and Martin Wood on hand to finish off. Yeah,
excellent try. When Mark made his break there, I thought John Vassallo a bit slow getting with him. Mark had to go back inside with John not being up with him. Good try in the end, they all count.
Certainly good centre work there by Mark Milner. Spotted the fact that John Vassallo was in fact well covered by the defence, which had come across quickly, got it back inside. And Phil Stevenson, I don't think he's ever put a pass out like that in his life before. From his left to his right, it went across and into the hands of Martin Wood, who did the rest of the business. John Vassallo then now from a similar position to that which Alex Green kicked his first goal in the first half for Doncaster. The same left-footed kicker, and the wind the same as it was for him. That's the level of the scores. It's 18 points apiece now. Sorry, 18-16, I beg your pardon. 2 points the trail still, but that's the way back for Keighley. And what a way to come out. They score just before the interval. They come back out and score straight away again. And Doncaster taking the time already back to the halfway line.
That's 2 tries in 2 minutes playing, just same as Doncaster did to Keighley. So Doncaster's heads look a little bit down now, like you say, John. Keighley should be up. Let's hope they can get back in amongst them again.
Play restarted then by Sims. Wayne Race this time for Keighley, getting outside the 20 area before being tackled. Stevenson just securing that ball before he was tackled. Banged it back up the other arm, fending off the player. Look forward there, Ian Gately, but the referee not in a position to have seen that pass forward. Andy Ayres onto Charlie McAllister. McAllister though met head on by Audley Pennant. He's tackled 5 metres inside the Doncaster half of the field as Moses waits for him to get up. Plays the ball, Pennant does the chasing, but it's Ayres onto Wood. Wood just delaying that pass and eventually offloading back to Gately via Ayres. In fact, I thought Ian Gately there was going to kick that ball, but it's McAllister, he's at acting half-back. Moses just in an offside position there, very lazy pass by McAllister, but a good kick forward by Martin Wood. Oh, knock on! Martin Wood regathers, that's back to 1. Oh, and Doncaster an almighty hash of that. Shuttleworth offside there, he should have been in the bin, but Mark Milner, Greg Shuttleworth doing the tackling there on the player, pulling him back by his shorts from an offside position. Definitely a sin-binning offence was that, but this is Keighley still on the rampage forward. Martin Wood to Greg Keighley. Keighley, a long ball out, there's a walking try here. Carlton Farrell's going to score. Yes, another try for Keighley at the far side. Almost won the doors though. Carlton was going to deny the opportunity there, wanting to score, Darrell. There was plenty of opportunities. It's 2 outside with no marks.
Yes, good try there, John. Again, Keighley's come back inside the tackles, got the try after the good kick by Martin, the fullback knocking on. Martin again followed up his own kick, which everybody should do. Dived on it well, Keighley scored, a good try, it's put him in the lead. Doncaster haven't had the ball this half yet, had 2 tries against him.
Yeah, conceded 10 points without actually handling the ball, Darrell, as you rightly say. And it's John Vassallo then with a difficult conversion. Oh, Greg Shuttleworth almost making a mistake there, but it's number 11 for Doncaster, Tony Miller, securing the ball in the tackle. Loose forward, Brad Hayes going now. There's a gap there, and it's Green. Oh, no. Hudson making a mess of that one. It's Wayne Race regathering the ball for Keighley. But really, Darrell, it's that man Alex Green again, isn't it? When he gets the ball, Doncaster look extremely dangerous.
Yeah, the looks forward made it originally, John. Looks forward made it down to play the ball. As soon as they fed Alex, there was a gap there a mile wide. Forcing for Keighley, but Doncaster knocked out.
Certainly was, and Mark Milner certainly feeling the weight of some tackles there as Andy Ayres goes in his own. The man there in the scrum cap doing the tackling, number 12, Alan Carr, in an offside position initially, but may just well have made that 10-metre line before doing the tackle. Moses again missing out Ayres, onto Gately. Gately stepping back inside. Last tackle again, says the referee, Mr. Crashley from Wakefield. 15 inside the Doncaster half as Andy Ayres tackle there, and it's Stevenson gets the ball out to the far side. Wayne Race stepping into touch, unfortunately. But it was the last tackle, he was tackled into touch, so we've got a turnover there now. 10 metres out from the Doncaster line. Keighley now got to do the business and make sure that the Doncaster are kept penned inside their own half of the field, and also got to remember, of course, that there's quite a strong wind blowing down this field. Need to have the man back in these situations in the first half. The Doncaster full-back was way downfield, but that event not worried about. I'm not particularly sure what that signal means. It means an incorrect play of the ball to me, does that, Darrell? What do you make of it?
I can't wait up, John. I mean, he was pointing to Greg as though Greg was offside at the play of the ball. I can't see any other.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. It certainly pointed initially to the offside, but then indicated that the ball had not been played correctly, so not really sure on Mr. Crashley's signals, but this is Doncaster 5 metres inside the Keighley half now. And again a penalty there. Mark Brooke-Cowden, the man upsetting Andy Clark, the number 8. In fact, he's just pulling out the number 8, Andy Clark. He's having a quick word with him. I feel he might just be having a chat with Mark Brooke-Cowden as well. But I think Mr. Crashley, Darrell's just telling him that he's the referee and he can forget about it. In fact, he's not even talking to Mark Brooke-Cowden.
Well, no, no real need to. He given the penalty, they would have come away when number 8 charged in. If anything, number 8 was at fault there.
Yeah, I suppose some referees may well have even given a penalty for retaliation, although the penalty first given, but never mind about that one. We won't speculate on that because Doncaster are now inside the Keighley 20. Moving across field now then, that's Audley Pennant taking the ball from Shuttleworth. He's held 10 metres from the Keighley line, just to the right hand side of the Keighley post as we look at the field. Shuttleworth is stepping back inside, stepping both ways, using Pennant as a shield as he went through. And it's the charging machine of the forwards of Doncaster at the moment testing this Keighley defence. Alan Carr throwing the ball out through to Green. Green getting the ball away, but the Doncaster man in support unable to make use of it as Shuttleworth receives the ball now. That's a chip forward, but it's knocked dead, I think, by a Keighley player. And certainly touching a Keighley hand on the way through as well, so good defence by Keighley, but certainly considerable pressure by the Doncaster attack. But Keighley have survived that particular attack. But the Doncaster fans as well getting behind their players as that ball not going too far upfield, just showing the strength of the wheel. That's Andy Rothwell, the fullback, taking play back within 30 metres of the Keighley line as Hayes now stepping back inside the loose forward, tackled by Martin Wood. Green moving the ball across wide. Second row there, Tony Miller just caught in two minds as to whether to offload or take the ball through as Green now gets on the ball on. Back inside again by Ian Fletcher, just possibly tightening themselves up a bit, but Doncaster now looking to open play. Green catching one there, but ducking underneath, and again almost away through the gap. Certainly a good acquisition for Doncaster's Alex Green, and again the chip over the top, and the ball being knocked down, in fact not knocked dead, in fact Doncaster get a try, and they celebrate, and Keighley, it looks like Greg Harley who half got the hand to the ball, but it was a heck of a good kick through was that by the Doncaster player. I didn't see who it was, Donald, did you?
Well, McCall John there, but a good kick. He followed up his own kick like we said. Keighley didn't take it clean. Took score a try.
And certainly the Keighley defence again caught. And the game's anybody's. It's in front of the post. Is that Doncaster should take the lead again now. Alex Green again with the responsibility of the kick. So then Keighley have succumbed to that pressure from Doncaster. Alex Green has punished the defensive error with a conversion to take them 2 points in lead. 24-22. All to play for once more. 15 minutes of the second half gone. Martin Wood then pumps that ball. It holds in the air. Bounces back as Shuttleworth, and Martin Wood, in fact, the man following the kick. In fact, it wasn't Shuttleworth, beg your pardon, it was Andy Rothwell, the full-back. Pennant then going on his own from acting half-back. 30 metres from his own line, and Doncaster coming forward in the shape of Andy Clark. Last tackle, the ball's going to come back, the two wingmen now dropping back. Wayne Race, the area I think where the ball's going to go to. John Walker, it's a good kick there. All on now because Wayne Race had regathered that ball, he was offside. Doncaster up in numbers, Keighley are strolling back at the moment still. Greg Harley and Mark Brook-Cowden still 10 metres from the line. Shuttleworth receives the ball and he's going to score! Well, what pathetic Keighley defence, Donald. I've never seen defence like it in my life. But can you, in all honesty, understand or excuse Greg Harley and Mark Brook-Cowden ambling back like they did then?
Disgrace there, John. They should have put a bit more effort in to get back. The line was never formed at all. Once Johnny Walker had knocked on at full-back, nobody got back to give any real support at all. Very bad that, very bad at all.
Well, certainly defence-wise, this game of Keighley's this afternoon has got to be the worst display I've seen this season. I don't think anybody can possibly question that. Again, it's the two tries, the 2-minute syndrome. This time it's Keighley shocked again for the second time. Now Doncaster back with an 8-point lead, 30 points to 22 the score. And certainly this last game at Tattersfield, tremendous atmosphere as far as the crowd are concerned, as far as Doncaster are concerned. And certainly a lot to think about and worry about as far as Keighley are concerned, and that ball not going 10, holding in the air, and really I don't know why you pump the ball in the air for such a short one when the wind's so strong, unless it was hoping to go over, but out at field level he must be able to feel the strength of the wind. Greg Shuttleworth taking the option of putting the ball into touch over the far side. He's now got a cushion of 8 points There's 22 minutes still to defend those 8 points or add to them, and conversely Keighley have got the same time in which to get scored on the board, but it's still Keighley's turn to defend, and looking at the strength of the two defences at the moment and the play so far, I'd back the Doncaster defence at the moment to hold good. But the question at the end of the day is whether in fact the Doncaster players can in fact hold themselves to the amount of effort they've put in. They've now been at it for almost an hour. They've put 120% in of Doncaster today. Stevenson then breaking out again, gets the ball after Ayres. Ayres is going, but he's got nobody with him. He had to go there, but the Doncaster defence was back very, very quickly there. Martin Wood onto Mark Milner. Milner stepping inside, but well tackled there by Alan Carr, the scorer of the last but one try for Doncaster. As Ayres now onto Wood. Wood finds a gap onto Brooke Cowden, but Mark Brooke Cowden unable to get through that hole. He's been held there by Alex Green, but Mr. Crashley's telling them to get onside at the far side. The chip through for chase by Martin Wood, but regathered there by the centre. Looked like it might have been Justin Hudson. And play then now inside that Doncaster 20-metre area. 8 points Keighley trail at the moment. Nice ball out there to Hudson. Hudson breaking through, but tackled 10 metres inside his own half. But the Keighley defence again splitting there as Shuttleworth pumps that ball downfield. He notices that John Walker's not centre field, but Johnny Walker takes that ball cleanly this time. Running back into the centre of the field, Shuttleworth doing the tackling. And Keighley again ambling back, giving the defence, the players back there, no support at all. It's almost daddle as though it's carnival time for Keighley. I just don't know what they're playing at. You would think they'd won this championship. Andy Ayres stepping through, finds Mark Milner. Milner goes inside. He's got Ayres outside. Oh, Mark Milner, it's the port outside and inside. He's not been allowed to get up and play the ball. Only penalised there for laying on. But really, Mark Milner should have scored there, I think, Darrell.
Yeah, he should, John, there. We should have had a bit more of that. There were, like you said, men inside and outside. We should have had 4 points at least out of that.
Long ball out there to McAllister. McAllister gets the ball. It's a forward pass. Wayne races in. Off a forward pass, Donald, I've got to say, but it's on the board.
Yeah, 4 points it is, John. I wasn't really looking there at that. I was trying to catch two-way Doncaster's defence squad. They hadn't slid at all. And 4 points it is.
Certainly 4 points, but I'd like to see the replay, because I'm sure the pass from Charlie McAllister was forward. It certainly looked from here at the angle we have from behind play, but it's on the board. John Vassallo again with a difficult conversion. John Vassallo then looking straight into the sun and the wind as he looks to convert the Wayne Race try. The crowd below has given him the bird. That one's not going. The goal kick unsuccessful then, and Doncaster making a substitution. Andy Booker, the man taking the field. Alan Carr, we believe, the man leaving the field, although we missed the board. As Green gets that ball downfield again, using the wind and the sun. And Martin Wood gets onto Wayne Race. Wayne Race steps through the centre, gets through the tackling, handing off, doing extremely well to get back to the halfway line. Being held down there by Alex Green, eventually gets up, plays the ball. Ayres misses out McAllister. It's Gately stepping through the centre of the play there. 5 metres inside the Doncaster half. 30 points to 26. Keighley trail at the moment as Mark Brook Cowden Moses at acting half back once more. Andy Ayres. Ball out then to Martin Wood. Martin Wood offloads there to Ayres, and Ayres again stepping through. Ayres is stepping, the referee going the way of John Basilou. Tackle, loses the ball, but the referee pulls it back for a forward pass to John Basilou. Ironic cheers from the crowd below us that the referee, in their opinion, has at long last seen a forward pass. Clock just stopped then a moment whilst the Doncaster player receives some treatment. This scrum will form some 15 metres from the Doncaster line. Andy Ayres just having a quick question of the referee as to what time's left, but the clock on the scoreboard showing approximately 25 minutes of the second half gone. That leaves 15 to play. 4 points the difference. Green tackle as he went across his own post there by Mark Milner. Pennant looking to go on his own, half away from the initial tackle of Milner, but certainly finished off by Ian Gately and Mark Brook Cowden, still on the 10-metre line. Keighley catching up close, the arm going across from but they hit the ball in fact. As the ball coming out now there, Brad Hayes loses the ball in the tackle. Ian Gately regathers for Keighley. It's Stevenson onto McAllister. McAllister out there to Farrell, inside to Wayne Race, but Wayne Race stitched up 10 metres from the line. One tackle gone in this series from the recovery of the ball as McAllister again at acting half was through the hands to Andy Ayres. It's Mark Brook Cowden though, tackled 10 metres from the line. Some 5 metres to the left-hand side of the post, and the ball goes across to Ayres. Wood brings on McAllister. McAllister's strength taken into the line, but he's held short. Up and played quickly there for Keighley, but again tackled right on that Doncaster line. McAllister acting half-back, quick ball out there, but Ian Gately doing well to recover, and in fact lost the ball in the tackle. I thought perhaps, Darrell, that Ian Gately might at least have tried to offload to Wayne Race there.
I think that's what we tried to do, John. Then when he realised that ball properly to offload, they tried to keep it, but unfortunately knocked on.
Another substitution then taking place. In fact, it looks like Martin Wood leaving and Keith Dixon come back on. And Doncaster substitution there, number 2 Mark Sims leaving, and number 12 Alan Carr coming back. Look, Keighley need to defend this 20-30 metre area in this series of 6. Keep Doncaster penned in there, apply the pressure on them, don't allow them to break out, and then look for the break from the possible handover or the scrum or whatever. That's Booker breaking away, but still just outside his own 20 area. Keighley needs to keep on pressure as Pennant's tackled in possession. Gets to the 30 metre area, that's the last one coming up. Need the bobbies back on the touchline side. The ball though coming this side, but it's Shuttleworth pumping that ball downfield into the arms of Wayne Race. 2 steps backward before regathering himself. Stepping inside, gets almost to the halfway line before being tackled. And again there's some wary Keighley legs making their way back there. Johnny Walker stepping back inside is the fullback, but he's tackled just inside the Doncaster half of the field. Paul Moses switching inside to Ayres. Ayres finds Carlton Farrell over the far side, but there's plenty of Doncaster defence, but very little Keighley support for an attacking move over there at the moment. Forward pass again there, called by the crowd. Andy Ayres onto Greg Keighley. Keighley 30 metres from that Doncaster line, getting up and playing the ball. The Doncaster players not regaining the line as Dixon chips over for the chase. But in fact Andy Ayres is caught offside in front of the kick, Darrell. Yes, no?
Yeah, it looks about half a yard to me, John, just half a pace in front.
But certainly the referee is receiving the wrath of the crowd from both sets of supporters, missing forward passes and also missing what they think is genuine onside. The referee, Mr. Crashley, missing the touch judge here. Keighley trying to make a substitution. Mark Brooke-Cowden's gone off already. Has he gone off? No, he's not gone off yet. But Stevie Hall will be coming back on. Andy Booker then driving that ball in. There's something like 10 minutes left now for Keighley to recover the lead and for Doncaster either to score again or defend the lead. John Evans, 5 metres inside the Keighley half of the field. Ball going across, it's a delayed pass there by Green, eventually recovered by Doncaster, but it's a scrum down and waiting to do the substitutions. It's Keighley now looking for a double. No, in fact Doncaster wanting to substitute the full-back, and it's Keighley getting the substitution in for Steve Hall to come back on for Mark Brooke-Cowden. Full-back Andy Rothwell leaves the scene. And it's centre Mark Reeves coming back on. And Keith Dixon doing well to hang on to that ball. Mark Milner almost into a gap there by Dixon. Mark Milner acting half. Dixon though goes on his own. I beg your pardon, Mark Milner played the ball. Dixon on his own. 10 metres inside the Doncaster half of the field. Another cliffhanger here at Tattersfield as Stevenson bursts his way through those first tackles before being brought down 30 metres out. Moses onto Ayres. Ayres offers the ball there to Dixon. Dixon's going to score! Dixon's in under the post! Oh, and that's a good try! Keith Dixon was a hero last year here, Darrell. It looks as though he could be this time as well.
Yeah, same end as well, John. He kicked a penalty at that end last year. Like you said, scored a try there, good pass up on the Ayres inside. He turned the whole Doncaster defence around there. They hadn't the legs to get back. Good try.
Certainly was. 30 points apiece. It rests on John Basilou now then to slot the extras. But there's nobody leaving this Tattersfield ground at all. 30 points apiece at the moment. The scoreline 60 in total. Nobody can complain that they've not had entertainment here this afternoon. It's going right to the wire is this one, that's for sure. John Basilou then just concentrating on this, not being helped by the Doncaster stewards who are all over the place behind the posts and not even standing still, not respecting the kick. That makes no difference to John Basilou. He plants that ball firmly out of the ground. 32 points to 30, Keighley lead. About 8 minutes or so on the clock. And have we got a game on our hands this afternoon, Darrell?
Excellent game, John. Going from one end to the other. It's not a good game for the coaches, I'm afraid. The defences on both sides have been shocking, really bad. But entertainment-wise, excellent game.
Yeah, certainly from the defence point of view, it's not been the best, I must admit. That's Dixon though, taking play back to the 30 metre line. Steve Hall coming on again. Referee there had the advantage of the line to guide him on that one. But certainly one or two of those passes this afternoon being very, very suspect as far as forward's concerned. Not easy for referees having to be back 10 metres. As Steve Hall now driving in. Number 11 Tony Miller preferring to turn his back on him than try and tackle him. This time he drags him down by the head as Moses gets the ball to Ayres, and that was certainly forward. Andy Ayres just receiving the knee there from Greg Shuttleworth. And I think Andy is certainly feeling the knee, but it certainly went in, Daryl, from Shuttleworth. Niggly little knee after the pass had been called. I don't know whether you saw it or not.
Didn't quite see it, John, but it had just been saying hello.
That ball then out to Shuttleworth. Bringing on number 12 there, Alan Carr. Looks as though in fact Carr's out of the scrum and possibly on the wing somewhere. Pennant breaking away, but tackled. They've been allowed to offload in the tackle, but not able to get any territorial advantage from that Doncaster. This is Booker for Doncaster, 10 metres from the halfway line, 3 tackles consumed. Green, again that man there getting the ball away there, but on the chest says Mr. Crashley. Hudson struggling to get away there, eventually does. That ball going out to the wing side, but the wingman unable to take advantage of it. 5 metres inside the Keighley half. It's the last tackle. Shuttleworth looked as though he was going to kick, eventually he does. Johnny Walker's the man who's going to take. Oh, dearie me, John Walker. Oh, and he never went near that ball, Daniel. He stood back from it and groped for it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he lost it in some there, John. But there again, people know what's happening on the keeper's side. They know he's looking in at the sun. Nobody back to support him.
And once more the Doncaster crowd get them behind their players as this scrum goes down 20 metres out from the Keighley line. Inside the last 5 minutes now. Shuttleworth taking his time. His side trailed by 2 points as the loose forward breaks from the scrum, feeding the blind side, and in fact Keighley being penalised for being pinching the ball in the tackle or tackling without the ball. Doncaster now is pressing on this line. They've got the numbers. Keighley are short in defence as Clark it is. Clark held up just inches from that Keighley line. Certainly got the numbers again stacked of Doncaster at this side. It's a long ball out to the wing, but Milner managing there to wrap up Alan Carr. Oh, it's certainly all breathless here as Hayes now goes in. Keith Dixon hurting the tackle there as the ball moving out. Green running across the face of play, looking to step back inside. This time not getting away with it. It's the last tackle. And again it's Shuttleworth going to try and work some magic over there, but the ball lost in the tackle. He's going to be tackled, but that's going to be a 10-metre scrum in fact for the first offence. In fact a turnover, that's correct. Yes, it was the last tackle. No advantage. 2 Keighley players down. It looks like full-back John Walker injured behind his own line. Keith Dixon struggling to get to his feet. Physio, the Keighley physio, Richie Coons, not really sure which one to attend to. Just now walking away. Keighley now coming away as Stevenson. Good 15-metre break there. Steve Hall this time taken round the top by Pennant. Certainly receiving a bit of treatment down there. Trying to get up and play the ball. Eventually does as Moses now. Andy Ayres trying to step through. Inside the last 2 minutes on the clock, but there's any stoppage time. I don't think Charlie McAllister was expecting that one. Offloads to Milner. Milner steps back inside. Milner's still going, but running away from his support. 15, 25 metres out. The referee telling the Doncaster players to get back on side. Andy Ayres switches to McAllister. McAllister steps inside. Offloads there to Moses. Moses inside. Oh, and Keighley knock on. Oh, dearie me. Almost panic stations again there, Darrell. They could see the line beckoning. Little Moses not able to make the line, but offloaded, and Greg Harley not able to gather.
Yeah, pity that, John, there. Good football, really. Poor defence again, though. Very poor defence by Doncaster. But Keighley's now got to apply some defence.
And again, using the blind side from the scrum. And Clade as well as Milner comes and steps. Stevie Hall there, breaking from that scrum and getting all the way back to the halfway line. Gets up, allows the Hayes to play the ball. And that ball being dropped. And that's a knock-on. Certainly a knock-on there. But How did that man, Steve Hall, get out of the pack and cover back so quickly, Daryl? For a fella his size, that was absolute magic.
Yeah, he's been resting though, John. He's playing at looks forward as well. Gives him a bit of chance.
Needs to settle down, as Daryl said there, just off mic. And Keighley now into a stoppage time. There's just the 2 points difference in Keighley's favour. They'll be looking to contain this ball now. Hopefully the atmosphere's not driving onto the field to cause any form of panic as Stevenson drives the ball in.
Why shouldn't they panic now? Everybody's been panicking all day out there.
Oh, Greg Keighley then taking the ball in now for Keighley, looking almost to get the ball away there as he went through to Andy Ayres. Backing up, a lot good backing up by Andy Ayres as Keighley slowly gets to his feet. Stevie Hall driving in, takes Shuttleworth with him as he goes. Last tackle, we're looking for a point possibly here, but there's nobody to get the point. And laying all over the place here, but Keith Dixon possibly laying back and looking for it. The ball's to him. There it goes, but it's gone wide and it's gone dead. Keighley needs to get back now, defend this line. Doncaster certainly don't seem to be in any hurry to get back, but they are short of the ball. The clock being stopped though now as Walker just pumps that ball back off field as the other one comes back from the back area. Doncaster breaking over the far side in the shape of Ian Fletcher. Plays the ball there and Green recovering it. 30 points to 32. Keighley lead, the slenderest of leads, still being held well into stoppage time now as Hudson breaks out. Shuttleworth again puts the chip forward. John Vassalou got to take that ball. He does eventually, does well, comes down the wing side. Tackle though there, but nonetheless it's 5 more tackles for Keighley. Steve Hall coming through the centre of the field, protecting the ball, being dragged down though by Hooker and Doncaster's man of the match, John Evans. 15 metres inside the Doncaster half of the field, and Keighley have been way to work all the way for this, well, I won't say victory because the final hoot has not gone yet. But they lead by 2 points. They've got 3 tackles left in this series of 6 as Moses goes, and Andy Ayres just moving in front of him as he went. Moses just gets slower to his feet as Charlie McAllister even slower, but gets the ball out there. Wayne Race on the wing side looking for an offload, but there's nobody, but it's the last one again. Keighley looking just to chip this ball through, and Doncaster regather, but they have a long way to come back now. Well into stoppage time now, and Keighley penalised there for an offence at that play the ball, not standing square or running round. A funny signal from Mr Crashley as Shuttleworth puts this ball into touch. 30 metres out from the Doncaster line now. Doncaster, they've got the advantage of 6 more tackles. Pennant going without the ball, and it's a knock on. Only Pennant just having to be pulled out from those Keighley players as something going on perhaps that we didn't see, Dell, there.
Yeah, I think Doncaster knocked on. And final whistle, doesn't matter, John. Just great game for the last game at Tattersfield for the spectators. Absolute brilliant game for them. 32-30. Entertainment value, they can't complain about that.
No, certainly nobody can possibly complain about the entertainment value this afternoon. Keighley come away as victor of the spoils, 32 points to 30. But I really think Doncaster can consider themselves unfortunate. It's been, as Darrell said, an afternoon of 2 attacks, 2 good attacks and 2 very, very ordinary defences. But nonetheless, as it happens, Keighley get the victory of the spoils, 32 points to 30, and what a testimony for a last game here at Tattersfield. Keighley's charge on the championship then continues. They need 1 single point to be assured of that victory. And the Doncaster players coming over here to this stand to applaud their supporters, and the Keighley players already applauded their supporters over by the dressing rooms and at the back of the post. Tremendous atmosphere here at Tattersfield. What a shame for rugby league that an atmosphere, a ground that can conduct such atmosphere, has to go. But the Vandals have taken care of that. They've seen the standoff at the far side. That's the last one at Tattersfield. And Keighley, as last year, come away the victors by the 2 points, 32 points to 30.